All right, here we go. Are you ready for the king of the steaks? Are you ready for the butcher's cut? Are you ready for Black Angus 45 days wet age? Oftentimes we talk about 28, this is 45. This is Rastelli's, our #1 food brand here at QVC. This is 10 9-ounce Black Angus Reserve ribeye steaks. They are massive, they are huge, they are bigger than my hands, and you're getting 10 of them for $164.98. That's a $16.50 steak. You try to get a 9-ounce steak at any sort of steakhouse with those white tablecloths, we're talking $50, $60, $70 here. This is 16 and change a steak. Ships for free. It's $33 on an easy pay. Over 200 5-star reviews on QVC.com. It is M96525, and keep a good thing coming with auto delivery every 60 days for a year. You also lock in those $33 easy pays, but juicy, tender. Take it away, Chris Menser.
I got to make room because I'm telling you, these are so big on the cutting board that I got to slide. I have to stack them a little bit. But you just said it about it's 45 days age. It's the only steak that we actually have that's our 45-day age. This is Ray Rastelli's favorite steak.
Okay? Yes, I know.
This is the king of steaks, and this is a steak that Ray eats at home. This is a steak that is going to be fork tender because of that aging process we do. And what happens is with that 45 days, the enzymes actually naturally mingle with the protein and it actually tenderizes the steak. So,
interesting.
So the 28-day age is very tender. It's what our standard for QVC. Now, we don't have these at the butcher shop. You will not find these at the butcher shop.
No.
No, you'll see a 28-day age, but not the 45. The 45-day age, we don't have a lot of these, so this is only for our QVC guests. And you can see just how tender these are and how beautiful these are. And that's because of that aging, that wet aging that you mentioned. So I'm going to put some over here, Julia.
You're going to push in my direction?
I'm going to push some in your direction.
Don't mind if you do. Don't mind if you do.
So, now, again, it's always where it comes from with Rastelli's, right? We really care about the source and where it's sourced from. These are actually coming from our farmers that we've been dealing with for literally almost 50 years now.
That's really good. That is like a beefy bite that melts in your mouth, right? Like it's marbled beautifully. That's why we love ribeye so much. But that is a cut above. You do get the seasoning, by the way. Oh, let me put a little seasoning on one of these because I love the seasoning. It just like brings it to the next level. But it makes a big difference when you do the 45 days wet aged.
It really does, because you're going to get that absolute nutty flavor. You're going to get that beefy flavor. You're going to get that beautiful juice and that marbling that's in these steaks.
Right.
And that's why this became like, this is Ray's favorite steak because of all that beautiful marbling. And that 45-day age gives it a flavor that's so rich and so decadent that you don't get from a normal aged steak, right? Now, when you go to the supermarket, when you buy steaks there, they're not aged at all. They're coming in and they're actually cutting them, they're putting them out. That's why you're not getting a real tender steak. So if you haven't had a real good experience and it's a little chewy and a little tough, that's why. 45 days, when those enzymes are mingling with that meat, you're getting something special that you're only going to get at the finest steakhouse. So when you go to a steakhouse and it says, first of all, Black Angus.
Black Angus.
Check, right? Then it says perfectly aged.
Yes.
That's that 45-day aged steak that you get at those finest steakhouses in the country.
That's where those massive price tags come from, too.
Yes, absolutely.
This is $16.50 a steak, and they're big. This is dinner for two. One of these is dinner for two. Slice them up. But because you have a price tag like this, now you're making ribeye tacos. Now you are making this center of the plate. Maybe you're doing a lovely steak salad with tomatoes and red onions and blue cheese. You can do that at a price point like this, but you still have the confidence that's the best of the best.
And they're gonna come to you just like this too. They're gonna come to you individually, vacuum sealed. They're gonna last for 1 year in your freezer, and that's what's really special about these. But as Julie said, look how big these are. I have a pretty good size hand, but look at the size of this.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna show you where this comes from over here, and I'm gonna show you what I do at home.
Fewer than 500 remain, by the way.
So this is what the ribeye looks like, right? So we take the ribeye, it comes into the shop, we leave all the fat on it, and then we wet age it for 45 days. After it's aged, we take it in, we take all the bone off, we take all the fat off, all the insinew, the silver skin, gristle, everything is gone. And then we get these beautiful 9-ounce steaks right here. Now, when I'm at home, this is too big for me.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
I can
9
eat
ounces.
it, but it's 9 ounces. So we usually eat like 4.5 to 5 ounces, my wife and I. So I cut this in half raw.
Done.
So I do it raw. right? Just
Okay.
like that, Julia. And then I season it with the seasoning.
Yep.
And I cook it so I
What
get
you
all.
get?
I want it all caramelized, right? So instead of cooking it and cutting it in half and splitting it,
Right.
I like doing it like this because it gives a
All sides are nice and caramelized.
yeah, it gives us a good steak.
You could do it like a
experience.
nice sear on a cast iron and then put it in the oven.
Yes.
You can do these on the grill if you prefer.
Yeah,
Now,
they're great in the air fryer. I mean, but you want to do these from thawed, right? So
Okay.
you're going to take them out the night before, and if you forget,
but they're individually vacuum sealed, by the way. So
Right,
take
so-
one, take 10.
and you can if you forget to take it out, you can just drop it in water, right? Just
Which
put
I've
it
done.
in water. I have done too.
I've done too.
And-
I all of a sudden had this craving. I want some meat. I want a steak. I have it in my freezer from Rastelli. I just fill up my sink and I drop it in water
Yes,
for a little bit.
It'll take no more than 20 minutes, but it's great on a salad. Now this is made to eat as a steak, right? It really is. I mean, this is the king of steaks, but it goes great on a salad. If you can't eat the whole thing, the next day, how about a nice steak
Oh, I
salad?
love leftover steak.
Yeah,
I love a
because if you
cold
can't-
leftover steak.
Me too.
Oh, it's so good.
I'll tell you, I went to a steakhouse, and this is a ribeye, right?
This is a
Yeah,
ribeye.
and it wasn't a reserve. It wasn't black Angus.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it didn't say any of that on the menu, so who knows what it was, right? But it was a good steakhouse. The ribeye was $75.
Easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
And look
easy.
at this. Like, was it this big?
Yeah,
Probably, it was 9 ounces.
And by the way, there wasn't a potato and there wasn't a vegetable or anything else associated
Oh,
with it.
yeah,
It was
of
a la
course.
carte, right?
Yeah.
It was a la carte. And I will tell you that it wasn't this tender.
Nope.
Right.
And it had way more fat on it.
Yes. What you're paying for.
And
Oh my gosh.
I know.
is that amazing?
You know, and I will say, like, you see it here on the set and you're like, oh, you know, is it going to be like that when you get it home? It's even better
Yes.
when you get it at home.
I
You know
agree.
why? Because you're making it fresh and putting it right on your plate. Like, these were made, you
Yeah.
know, these were made pretty fresh.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, like, it's even better when you have it in your house than the experience that we're having here.
Exactly.
'cause,
and
I
our
mean-
experience is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Our experience is excellent.
And I'm gonna. I mean,
this is better
here's-
than the
And,
steakhouse.
and listen, this is one of the steaks too because of the marbling. It lends itself to. You can have this medium because if you like your steak medium rare, a lot of people say, "Oh, that's too rare for me." This steak can be medium to medium well because of that 45-day aged and how tender it is. It's going to eat like butter. So if you like a steak a little bit more well done, a little bit more medium
Yeah.
to well, you're going to have a really, really good experience with this ribeye.
Such
And
a
they're
great
huge.
beefy
I mean,
They're
they're
huge.
so
Look
big.
at the size of these. They are 9 ounces each, and you're getting 10 of them.
Yeah.
10 of them. This is a barbecue. This is a party. This is a celebration. This is maybe just Tuesday night, and you know you got a really great deal on that at $16.50 a steak, a $33 easy pay. Oh, good. There is auto delivery on this. Every 60 days for a year, those 5 easy pays with $33, they go away at the end of the day today. So lock this in. We are starting to get very, very limited. Each one is individually vacuum sealed. You're just going to take it out, thaw it, and cook it to your perfection. It is M96525. Remember, Black Angus Reserve, 45 days
Yes.
wet aged. This is money right here. This is the steak. This is the king of all the steaks.
It's really, really special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, listen, try it for yourself
Yeah.
and get it home. That's why they call it the butcher's cut, right?
That's
The
right.
butchers like it
Yes.
for themselves.
Yes.
M96525 is your item number. $33 gets those home with free shipping from our #1 food brand. Hey,
right.
guess you know what it's time for? It's time for another one-time only value. Wow, this show is
I
loaded
told
with them.
you, we have a ton of them.
Oh my gosh. And you know, we're all excited about this one because it's your favorite big